Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from the Automotive Rate. In this video, I will do a walk-around tour of two compact hatchbacks, the Hyundai i30 and Skoda Scala. So stay to the end to find out what they have in common and which is the better buy. Before we start, a little brief overview of the Hyundai i30. The i30 is a C-segment compact hatchback and wagon sold since 2007, while the one featured in this video is the third generation model sold from 2016 to 2020, but the Singaporean version is sold from 2018 to 2022. For the North American market, this car is renamed as the Elantra Touring and is available in a few different body styles, a hatchback, a fastback, and an estate version. For our market, two choices will be available, the pre-facelift 1.4 turbo GLS sold from March 2020 and the facelifted 1-litre turbo version sold till July 2022. This one shown is the earlier 1.4-litre turbo model, and with that said, let's take a closer look at this car. Starting with the powertrain, this car makes 138 brake horsepower and 242 Nm of torque from the TGDI turbocharged 1.4-litre 16-valve 4-cylinder engine. Paired with front-wheel drive and a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, this car accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9.2 seconds onto a top speed of 205 km per hour. If I were to be honest, the performance stats aren't the best, but the fuel economy is incredible at 18.2 km per litre, which is one of the best in its class. Suspension setup consists of McPherson struts and multi-link, front and rear respectively. Moving to exterior design up front, I really love the bold look on the front end of this car, and coming standard for this car will be LED projector beam headlights, and moving to the center you can see this elegant looking chrome surrounded front grille. To the side, there will be LED fog lights, along with a little van. To the side profile of this car, there will be body color mirror caps and door handles, chrome window surrounds, body lines along the side, and 16-inch silver alloy wheels with a design that I think really suits the sensible character of this car. Round back of the Hyundai i30, there will be a little black trunk lip spoiler all the way up top, LED taillights with a very distinctive design, although the turn signals and reverse lights are incandescent. Down below, there is a light reflector, and all the way down here will be a black plastic diffuser with the exhaust nicely tucked away under the rear bumper. Open the rear hatch and you get 395 litres of cargo space, which is a decent amount for a compact family hatchback. Otherwise, it is a fairly standard rear cargo area. Entering the rear seats of this car, the seats are fairly comfortable and the white contrast stitching does help with the overall look of the interior. In terms of space, I get quite a lot of headroom and a decent amount of legroom, and someone who is about 1.8 meters tall should fit at the back without any problem. Other useful features includes rear aircon vents to keep the rear passengers cool. Moving to the front cabin of this car, I have to say that I really like the interior of the i30. This car has a simple design and a functional layout, and if you were to open the glove box, you get a decent amount of space. Coming standard for this model will be an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with all the audio controls located next to it. Further down, there will be aircon vents and aircon controls, which as mentioned, is very functional, and all the way down below will be some charging ports as well as the wireless charger, and if you don't want it, there's a lid that can be closed. The gear lever looks very simple but I somehow really like it, and slightly to the right for manual shifting through that 7-speed DCT. Surrounding all that will be a little gloss black surround, and located behind that will be your electronic parking brake with auto hold function, along with some storage space for small items. There are two cup holders that comes with a sliding lid to cover it if you don't want it exposed. Everything seems awesome from the passenger side, so let's take a look from the driver's side. Coming in from the driver's side of this car, the first thing you will notice is the analog gauges. Tachometer will be located all the way to the left, speedometer located all the way to the right, along with a digital display front and center, which can show information like your speed, odometer, outside temperature and drive range. The steering wheel also have very simple design with straightforward controls for the audio and cruise control settings. In terms of driving position, it is fairly easy to find a suitable one, and visibility in a hatchback like this is great. There won't be a lot of problems trying to see what's behind or around you. Overall interior build quality up front is adequate for the size and class that this car is in, keeping in mind this is the pre-facelifted model. In summary, I think the Hyundai i30 is a great family hatchback that is also reliable and very fuel efficient. But what if you prefer something that's made in Europe? This, the Skoda Scala, represents great value but also practicality that is just as impressive. Something that is good to know about this car is that this actually rides on MQB AO platform, which is developed for subcompact or B-segment cars like the Volkswagen Polo, Volkswagen T-Cross, Seat Ibiza, Seat Arona, as well as the Skoda Fabia and Kamiq. However, this car has the exterior and interior dimensions of a compact or C-segment car, so in terms of space, it is about the same as the Volkswagen Golf and Seat Leon, which are cars that uses the MQB Evo platform, developed for compact cars. And at the time of filming, the car has a starting price of $139,900 for the lower ambition trim and tops out at $149,900 for the style trim. Launched in 2019 and sold till present, the Skoda Scala is supposed to be a successor to the Skoda Rapid Spaceback. And with that said, let's take a closer look at this car and find out more about it. Under the hood of the Skoda Scala, you have the turbocharged 1-litre 12-valve inline 3-cylinder engine making 109 brake horsepower and 200 Nm of torque. Packed with front-wheel drive and a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, the car accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 10.1 seconds onto a top speed of 202 km per hour. In terms of acceleration and performance, it is about the same as the i30 in the 1-litre turbo variant, but fuel economy is better at 21.2 km per litre, which is superb. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts up front and torsion beam out back. One cool thing is the cover for the windshield wiper fluid reservoir can be opened to reveal a funnel, which makes the process of pouring water in easier. Moving to exterior design up front, the design is rather aggressive with the bold body lines along the hood, the sharp looking headlight design with LED projector beams, and to the center, there is a chrome surround on the front grille with vertical slots, giving it a striking front fascia. Fog lights are available although they aren't LEDs, but I don't really mind it. To the side profile, it looks just as distinctive as the rest of the car, especially with its 18-inch aerodynamic looking wheels. Also on the side, there will be body color mirror caps and door handles, black window surrounds with chrome belt lining and body lines along the side. Round back of the Skoda Scala, there will be a little lip spoiler all the way up top. And what I think is an odd design is a small portion of the tailgate is actually finished in gloss black. Skoda is spelled horizontally across the rear tailgate, and the taillight adds a sporty look to the rear end. Also back there will be a little black plastic diffuser. Open the rear hatch and you get 467 liters of cargo space, which is one of the best in its class. There are some cargo hooks on the side which might come in handy when there are some loose bags that requires you to hook it onto. Entering the rear seats of this car, I can easily make myself cozy back here. I'll start with the seats. Despite the stiffness of the cushioning, the angle of recline is decent, so it's not too bad. Again, being a hatchback, I get quite a lot of headroom and an ample amount of legroom. I can fit at the back here very comfortably, although the rear seats are better left for 2 people as carrying 3 at the back can be a bit of squeeze as the center seat is on the smaller side. If there are only 2 people at the back, the center armrest with 2 cup holders can be folded down from the center seat. Also, there are aircon vents at the back, keeping the rear passengers cool. Moving to the front cabin of this car, the materials used in the interior actually feels good. There are plastic with patterns on the door panel and some leather paddings. The passenger dashboard area is also generally well finished with soft touch materials up top, along with some silver trims. Comfort at the front is fine, but then again, the seat cushioning is a little too hard for my personal liking. The standard infotainment system will be this 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well as SmartLink. Audio controls are located next to it for easy access for the driver and passenger, and I love the way the knobs for the aircon controls feel. It doesn't look cheap and also doesn't feel cheap, especially with that small digital display. Below that will be some charging ports along with a storage area, since wireless charging isn't available on this car. Surrounding the gear lever will be some gloss black trim, and behind that will be 3 cup holders, 2 for the standard size cups and 1 smaller one. For all models, electronic parking brake doesn't come standard, so you have this lever handbrake. Both the glove box and the storage under the center armrest are decent in size, but let's take a look from the driver's side. Before coming in from the driver's side, there will be an umbrella holder with an umbrella in the doors of certain models, but once we come in, we will see that the gauges are digital. One thing that makes digital gauges so great is the configurability. Tachometer will be located all the way to the left, speedometer located all the way to the right, or another one will be the center tachometer with your speed in numbers in the center. The multifunctional steering wheel is very easy to use, and personally, I quite like the design. It is a 2-spoke steering wheel where the bottom spoke is removed. The buttons and controls are all very easy to use, and there will be pedal shifters for better control over your car. As for driving position, I can find one very easily, and the overall visibility is great. The A and C pillars aren't very thick, and the rear window is decently big, so I don't think there will be a lot of problems maneuvering this car. Overall interior build quality up front is acceptable, definitely better than the i30, although that car is also more comfortable. To sum up the Skoda Scala, this is a smart choice for a family-friendly hatchback. It has good practicality, awesome fuel economy, and has some really clever features. So how is it compared to the Hyundai i30? Personally, I would recommend this car over the i30, partly because this is a newer car, but also has some really smart features and better build quality and materials used. The i30 isn't bad, especially the 1.4-litre turbo variant, but those were only sold till 2020. It does look better design-wise and is coupled with better overall comfort. With that, I'll wrap up the walk-around tour of the Hyundai i30 and Skoda Scala. Thanks for watching.